Hi, Carol here, and welcome to my craft room. And if you watched anything of that More Than Pathetic card I was doing yesterday, I don't want to even pause there. That's pretty funny. It just changed my focus on what I was doing to what I'm doing now, and that's okay. I'm not going to do a pull-out card. I am now going to do a mixed media card. And I am still using the same images, but it will be a card that is mixed media. So, and what is mixed media? It's a whole lot of stuff you buy and you kind of mush it all together and it ends up with a nice project. That's my rendition. Now, I've only done a few of them. I've not done many, but there are many wonderful artists out there that do mixed media that I have drawn some of their knowledge to put together to make this for you today. Now, I kept the officer here. I have to have this ready for tomorrow, and I am leaving it like this other than to sponge the edges. Okay, so we just tore it all out like that, and it is going to go into my project. What you're going to need if you do this as a heat gun, haven't used it for a while. Boy, I tell you, this has taken me hours to prepare, hours, because not only having these casts on both of my hands and arms, it's hard with my fingers to lift and manipulate things in certain ways, and it really throbs afterwards. So I had to do it nice and slow. So I'll show you quickly what I am going to be using. I'm going to be using some cheesecloth. Love cheesecloth. I buy it in bulk because it makes the best dusting rag ever. And if you spray your dust polish on, you can wash this and it will last you forever. And I get bags of it at the dollar store of the cheesecloth, and it's very nice cheesecloth at our dollar store. It's a huge pack. And so I used one for, see, it's nice and thick. And it's actually a dollar store, but you pay $5 for this. And so I'm using that. And I took out some of the elements here. I am, for the police officer, going to use this gun, handcuffs, and these tags. And I'm using gold because I had these punched out from another project that's going to go on this one, and it is my foil tabs that I ran through with the Stampin' Up! Script embossing folder. So I'm using 2 of those. I tore out, I have a walkie-talkie here as one of my elements, and a clock face, and a talkie little thingy, and a little face, clock face, silver hand, gear. And then I don't want to throw anything, and this was from the 140-pound watercolor paper from Strathmore, so I kept it from ripping the police officer out. And what I'm using is, I was going to use gelatos, but I got to thinking here of what little use I get out of our Wondercolor, well, it's Stampin' Up's Wondercolor crayons. And I have 4 of the containers with all the colors, and I like this earth tone collection, so the neutrals, but it has a lot of nice colors, especially in the Regals. These are more bright, and so anyway, makes a that works wonderful on watercolor paper, so I use that. And what you're going to need are just some sprays. I use some mists, and this is the Heirloom Gold, and it really has to be shook up before you use it because everything is on the bottom. Some Lindy Stamp Gang. I used this Bluebeard Violet Blue and I'm going to be using some of the Black Orchid Silver. And I had to keep going at it because, you know, my phone issue. Keep going and using it, having to answer it, excuse me. I'm going to be using some crackle paint. I used this Pacific Point refill from Stampin' Up! And this Adirondack green. Not sure the color there. And Fabric Fusion. Now I am going to use these to spell out my son's name. These Scrabble things I bought. And I am going to embed them into the cardstock. So to do that, if you want it embedded, you just use your embossing. I will show you this when I get around to it. Your sponges, and I'm going to run it through my Vagabond because the Vagabond has more pressure than the Big Bite. So I'm going to use that because you do need some pressure to embed these into whatever it is you're using. You can embed this into foam, into paper, cardboard, whatever. So that's what I'm going to do there. You want to get yourself some gesso. I really like using this one here from Michaels, acrylic gesso. And you want to gesso your projects to let them dry nicely beforehand. I chose to use the Stampin' Up! Set here, Gorgeous Grunge. We'll be using that. And because I'm hurrying here, I'm going to use my homemade paste, texture paste, instead of buying it. This is fabulous. I made jars of it. 1 cup talc. Sorry, I can't hold it long. 8 tablespoons of white paint and 8 tablespoons of your cheap white glue makes this gorgeous paste. And I mean, it is good. I had the lid off, which I shouldn't, but it's still wonderful. And we're going to use that. Get yourself a whole lot of stamps. That's what I did. Whatever ones match. I tore some of this off the box on my haul. So I have that. Black soot and faded jean distress ink, and some, I'm going to need this actually, so I kept some of it to use, and that is my gesso. And I just put everything I'm going to use in a painter's palette. Got this at Michael's as well, and I'm just trying to, I am so new at it. I didn't know all the things, you know, I needed to get to do this a few months back either. So I have this little container here that I put some of my stuff here. You can use glazing medium, but to substitute for this, I am because it is more liquidy, if that's a word, I'm going to use my own paste. And E6000, I'm going to use some of this Snow Tex maybe, and a bottle cap with a little wee star in there. I broke off a pencil because I want to use that as, I mean, mixed media is mixed up junk all shoved on a piece of cardboard or paper or whatever you decide to do your project on. So that's why it's like everything all over. And the cute thing is that this is going to be a road, and I use the Wonder Colors to get the colors here, because in the Mountie uniform there's yellow and blue. So I put some of that in there. I get my water here all prepped. Do you see that there? I choose my brushes and put them in there. Over there you can see I have my paper towels and my baby wipe right by my palette, so I can just go over and wipe my hands, use some Mod Podge, and we are set to go. Whoop, and then you pick up what you just dropped. I hate having my garbage here because I'm telling you, everything falls into it, but I keep putting it there. And then I set out some of my baker's twine. This isn't what I bought, but I want to use up all of, this is a thicker one, and it's 30 feet of each kind. So I'm going to use this before I break into my new stuff. Okay, and it's kind of like, I showed this before. I have to get this project. I mean, I have so many unfinished projects. It's kind of like this one-page mixed media page I did. Girly stuff is easy to do for me, but the masculine cards and mixed media is a little bit more difficult. This is the back, and so little cards like this are nice to do. You only have, you know, you get it from Michaels, and I chose to do the clocks here and the hexagon and the fence. That is what I am going to put on this card with my homemade paste. And I got this at a thrift store, and it has this little wee stamp thing, and you just screw those on, and it has old script writing. I'm going to use that. I'm going to go into some Tim Holtz papers, going to use some of my cardboard pieces, and my die cuts. When I do my mixed media, I use to I put paint on the back because you can wash it off, and then you can just use the images, the back, and you just put it on and wipe it and paint it and put it on. You can set it there and spray it, and it works out as all of your flat dies are just as nice to use as your plastic ones here, like these ones. Let me just see here. This one is, I'm trying to think, these are all from Michaels. No, this is Hobby Lobby, $4.99. And I have a stipple brush. I think I'll get that out. But they're just as good to spray through as an image as these are. Okay? So keep that in mind. I'm going to set that there so out of sight, out of mind, I will see it. And let's get moving on there. Now, remember I showed you these things that I got at the dollar store right here? These packages with my images there, you know? Don't throw these away, because what I'll show you is I wanted this for a road for my police car. And see the tops of these that you have to break open? Let me just show you here. Those are going to be road tracks for me. So see how you can repurpose everything? And I just tore it off the bottom here. And you get, I have 2 road tracks somewhere. I see one. This is my bottle cap. I got those at the thrift store, remember? I made this bottle cap for my friend bracelet that I've never sent off because, I don't know, I just didn't. I'm so sorry I didn't, but Johnny will understand. And I have to find my other strip. So anyway, let's just do it together, and it'll go into part 2, maybe not. Let's see. And thank you so much for being patient with me. It's very difficult to do this all in one take. So I got myself a piece of cardboard right here. I can set it right over top. I got my stamps all ready, my tabs ready, and my embellishments ready. You thought I was going to say my junk, didn't you? No. My nice embellishments. Okay, and here we go. I can set that down. This is one of those A&W French fry things or muffin things I saved, because this is what I'm going to use to put the money card in there, gift cards. So let's set that there. And this is where I've gotten. First of all, I have this, you know, at Michael's you get those mini album cardboard pieces. I think they're 6 by 5, if I'm right. But you know, you can get all sizes. It has the hole up there. You get the ring. Well, I took that, and so far I have used this is the watercolor pencils on the watercolor crayons on top. and then I just brushed it and used my heat tool. Then I used my paintbrush to flick these colors on. I sprayed it with my sprays. The back is still just gessoed. Now when I gesso, instead of going back and forth, I curve and circle to give me some texture if I'm doing liquids on here. That way everything doesn't look striped. You've got a whole lot of movement going on there. So this is the front. This piece is Strathmore 140-pound cardstock, and it's wet. That's why it's kind of wobbly. But I cut it out to the size of my board. So you'll just cut out a piece, and then you cut, and I'm going to make it as a book. So I put some black masking, or this here, I'm going to be using that. I used some of the duct tape black, and I put it 3/4 of an inch. I'm using the black foil to look like a book, so I put that on, and then I made a 1/4 inch fold so that my embellishments will not get me into trouble. Okay, for this stand, so it stands up. This will cover the hole up there, and it will look like a book. You will get that 1/4 inch there. I am just going to cut that. And there's the front cover right here. I'm not finished yet because I have to do all my stamping and stuff, but this gets us a little ways ahead. When you open it up, I'm going to have some work on this side of the card, and then I have this side, and then when it closes, I took a piece of really cheap paper. I had one-sided paper, inexpensive I should say, and I put it down. It was like a tile, you can hardly see it. I gessoed it, and I just put some of the Tim Holtz faded jeans, some black soot, and then I just flicked some color on there and used the embossing heat tool, and I did the edges, roughed them up with your rough up tool. And I used the Stampin' Up! One here, and I'll be using that quite a bit, so I need to have that in sight. So that's as far as I've gotten. Okay, so this is right on the Strathmore paper. I just glued it down with the fabric glue, and once I get stuff on this, it is going to work out well. So let's start. Okay, this is going like this, okay? And then once you get your duct tape on, duct tape has these perfect lines in it like this. And I can't put pressure with my hands yet, putting it down. But if you put your heat gun onto the duct tape, whatever kind of, what am I trying to say there? Stripes or flowers or whatever the background is, it is going to heat set it right to the cardboard. So in this case it's stripes, and I just put the heat gun on it, and look at it, just embedded itself right into the paper. So this is going to go down. I have double-sided tape on this side, but I don't want to do that yet until I see what I'm going to do as far as embellishments. So let's get at it. I want to do it on this cardboard because I may spray some, and then you need your StazOn, right? Because you're using water-based products, or you can use your Ranger Archival. Huge. I love this one for stamps because it has the sponge on the bottom to give it some give. Okay, so let's start here. Because I want this to dry right away, I am going to do some of my paste here. So I will do this clock. Like that. Alright, so let's get this out. Excuse my arm. And this is my problem, is lifting. I'm going to really suffer for this, I think, but that's okay. And look at this. I want to show you the niceness of this paste. And that is just the baby powder, white paint, cheap white paint, inexpensive white paint, and the white inexpensive glue. Okay, so let me make sure that we are in so you can see it here, and I will do some of the stenciling. Hold it down. I want to take some off. It's the pushing down with my hand that is difficult. Now, you could take, I should have one close by. Yep, you can take a card, you know, one of these kind of credit-y card. This is a room card, and it will work out a lot better than that stick. There we go. And I just want to show you how beautiful that is. I've had that there for a few months, and it is as nice with my hair in it. There we go. Look at that. Can I just show a close-up of that? And you can spray it and do whatever. This is going to go into 2 parts, obviously, but I am so sorry. You just can't help it. Okay, this is the front. I will do the Roman numerals here. And I will take some of the paste off. I don't want it to be too bulky, so because it's a card, but I'm going to use up what I have on here because I can always cover it, right? There we are. Oh, I still have some on there. I might make some extra thick. There we go. Mix it up, and there you have it. I will set this in some water right here, just down so like that on the side of my bowl. Scrape this back off because you really don't want to waste that. And I'm going to use my card again, so keep that there. And then we will wait. Look at that. And you didn't have to spend a penny other than getting your inexpensive products for that. So that's very nice. Okay, so we'll set that aside for a minute, or I'll do a little bit of stamping there. And you know this is going to go into 2 parts. I'm so sorry. And the reason I'm using these tags here, let me pull this out a little bit. These tags is because of it being in the shape of a book. I'm going to make it look like an old book. So these are going to go on the outside like this. There goes my phone. Isn't that something? I'm just going to let it go. And I don't know if I'll go silver or gold. I'll have to see because it's silver and gold on each side. And let's get some stamping in. And then I thought, jumping back in, I am going to have these hang off of each one of them. So that I think will be nice. And I have to find my image here to put down. Look at that. My main image is come up MIA. Oh, here's my car. But I'm going to gesso that down because I don't like the kind of babyish colors on there. And I need to have my image in all of this. Look at this. Where's my police officer? Okay, I won't worry about that. I'll do some. I'm going to stick my stick back in there and grab my lid. I encourage you to make this. Whoa, you can go on the internet, see what I mean? My hands give out on me, and get the texture paste recipe. I'll give it to you really quick. 1 cup of baby powder, 8 tablespoons of white inexpensive paint, and 8 tablespoons of white inexpensive glue. Gives you, I doubled it up, gives you a half of a mason jar. Okay. So let's grab some stamps. I want this little, I think I'll use the small one here. Stays on. And let's do a passport. Ooh. Little passport book. That's cute. I am going to take the other one wherever it went. This one you're turning. Oh, this one you're turning over, so I am going to give it a quick, just to use up the ink here. Okay, so that was the passport, and then I'll set that over here, and then we will get a camera. No, I think I'm going to go with this. You think I'd have enough splatters, don't you? But I'm going to go with this splatter right here. Like that. That's nice, isn't it? You've got that on there. And that is drying. I have to make sure I look at it. Then I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to put a little bit of, pounce some of this yellow paint in there. Okay, like that. And I will put it just up in the corner. Like that. A little bit down there. And you can just go to town with this. Hold this up. Put a little bit on the back. It does give you some texture. I can't hold it up, I'm sorry. Okay, so we can set that aside. I'm going to have a lot to clean up. I have some, I'm going to be reorganizing my craft room because I have some new furniture coming to put in here that I can take some of the old stuff out. And